Namanda, Snamanda, 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 Snamanda. 고응행이 이진문업 여생명 무여토샤 니칭앗마니 스코엔요 가이시논페 윤야그주목 뇨나용엔 저세무님 정악다연 거르지법 가이먼쇼진 산마이지에 이토금으려 스쇼케우 진타이젠넨 쇼붓호가이 그진진노 긍옹아이타이 무묘역근우 세손요무 니노시시 진토금으려 그근고다이 지혜지며 거묘이소 신도다이센 난가사붓 사이쇼호 가도쇼지 미후게닷 으세조이 가이닌쇼진 녀세산마이 지혜이조 고세이터급붓 응여싱한 이사이크그 이사다얀 게시으붓 야크센 너그만 무료다이쇼 순용오자 그여이사이 시토쇼붓 은여그도 겐쇼흑약 인용오자 저분세가이 무흑하게 무슈셉노 거묘시쇼 헨시쇼콕 녀세쇼진 이진한려 령아사붓 거그도다이이치 거시키며 도조조셋 거그녀나염 ni mu to so ga to lai min do dat ni sai ji po dai sho shin nen shoujo ito ga ko 계락 안논 거분심요 쟁아신쇼 헛간노히 리기쇼쇼욕 지포세손 지혜문예 조려시솜 징아신요 계려신시 쇼구독주 낭요쇼진 닌주후게 나만다부 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 란니시쿠도쿠 벼더세이사이 너우헛보다이신 어우저으 Namandaps, 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 namandaps. Please join me in Gassho. The Buddha said, "Well spoken, Ananda. Your question is excellent. You ask this insightful question having summoned up deep wisdom and true and subtle powers of expression, and having turned tender thoughts towards all sentient beings. In his boundless great compassion, the Tathagata is filled with pity for beings of the three worlds. I have appeared in this world and expounded the teaching of the way, seeking to save multitudes of living beings by bestowing upon them the benefit that is true and real. Rare is it to encounter and rare to behold a Tathagata, even in countless kotis of kalpas. It is like the blossoming of the Udumbara flower, which seldom occurs. This question you now ask will bring immense benefit. it will enlighten the minds of all devas and human beings. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Snamanda, 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 snamanda. Good morning, everyone. Well, last week, in the last weekend or last Sunday of March, we had our first live Zoom service. And I hope everyone who attended immensely enjoyed themselves. For those of you who have not yet signed up for our live services, please go to our website and log in and put in all of your information. The registration is very easy. So please feel free to join us for our live Zoom services that we have every last Sunday of the month. They are a wonderful treat, and it's great to see everyone's smiling faces. Some good news. Reverend Cindy and I have been able to receive our first dose of the Moderna vaccine. So that is wonderful. It feels great. My arm is a little sore, so if I don't move this arm too much, that's the reason. I just got the shot on Friday, so my arm is a little bit sore. But I still feel very wonderful. I don't feel any of the bad side effects just yet. And hopefully I will be able to continue with my ministerial duties without any hang-ups during the weeks to come. I'm scheduled to get the second dose of the Moderna vaccine on the 30th. So wonderful news, right? We're all, as I'm talking to more of the members of the temple, I'm hearing more and more people are getting the vaccine. So this is wonderful news. This is great. But just remember, I looked at the CDC website. They're still not recommending travel. Now, that being said, for people who are already fully vaccinated, right, for people who have both of the shots and it's been over 2 weeks, they said you can travel, right? They're saying that travel, essential travel is acceptable. They still want you to wear masks. They still want you to wash your hands, right? They're still recommending that we practice safe social distancing practices. Okay, so again, this isn't forever, right? This is not forever, but it's just for now. And even for myself, I may feel a little bit more protected now that I have one vaccine in me, but that doesn't mean that I should just go all over the place without any masks on and not being mindful of other people around me. Right? We still have a great part to play in terms of making sure everyone is healthy and safe again. But now I'd like to start talking about the Gosandai, or the quote that I shared with you all this morning. So for those of you who do not remember, this quote is from the Larger Sutra, okay, the larger of the 3 Pure Land Sutras, okay? So for those of you who do not remember, our sect of Buddhism, Jodo Shinshu, we revere 3 sutras, the 3 Pure Land Sutras that were recommended to us by Shinran's teacher, Honen Shonin. Okay, so for those of you, especially for you Dharma School kids, okay, Dharma School kids, just remember, there's the 3 Pure Land Sutras, okay? There's the Larger Sutra, okay? The Smaller Sutra, and the Contemplation Sutra. Okay, let's go over that one more time. Dharma School kids, remember this. The Larger Sutra, the Smaller Sutra, the Contemplation Sutra, okay? So those are the 3 sutras, or the 3 teachings given to us directly by the Buddha, okay? So why did I choose this quote today? Well, April is the time when people sort of remember that, oh, this is the sort of Hanamatsuri month, right? This is the time that we all have Hanamatsuri. We usually in front of the temple here, in front of the Onaijin, there is this beautiful Hanamido, right? There's beautiful flower shrine where, we have all these beautiful flowers decorating it, and then we pour sweet tea over the Buddha, right? And this sort of tradition is actually has been carried on since I was a kid too, and I'm certain since my parents were kids, and then their parents were kids, right? This is a long-standing tradition of pouring sweet tea over the Buddha, having a beautiful flower arrangement, flower shrine in front of the Onaijin. But we celebrate the Buddha, the Queen Maya giving birth to the Buddha. But sometimes I think we sort of forget why we do it in the first place, right? It's like, well, yes, obviously there's the obvious answer, right? We celebrate Shakyamuni Buddha's birth because Shakyamuni Buddha is the founder, or is essentially the starter of Buddhism, right? The religion that we belong to. Shakyamuni Buddha is the starter of this tradition, right? So obviously we call ourselves Buddhists. Who do we have to thank for that? Shakyamuni Buddha, right? That's the obvious answer. But for us as Jodo Shinshu Buddhists, we celebrate the life and death, or we celebrate the birth and we commemorate the passing into parinirvana of the historical Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, because Shakyamuni Buddha gave us the 3 Pure Land Sutras. Now, for this segment, especially from the quote that I pulled from the Larger Sutra, I picked this one because it shows the profundity of the teachings. Okay, it shows that the teachings, that what the Buddha was about to teach was profound. So let me give you a little bit of a setup here. Okay, so everybody is sort of surrounding the Buddha during this time, Shakyamuni Buddha. And one of the Buddha's disciples, and I think his either nephew or cousin, named Ananda, okay, was seeing something very different about the Buddha, right, during this time. This is from the Larger Sutra, okay, remember that. He was seeing something very different about Shakyamuni Buddha at the time, and he was like, well, and he he didn't raise his hand, obviously, right? In the classroom, we all raise our hands when we want to ask the teacher something, right? But this is sort of the formula of a lot of the sutras, right? Is that, the Buddha has all these students and someone asks a question, and then the Buddha goes into this long explanation, which is a sutra, okay? And this is what happens in this particular case, is that Ananda kind of goes, hey, teacher, there's something kind of different about you today. You're kind of glowing. You have this beautiful light around you, or you seem really happy today. I don't know. There's something different about you today. Can you talk about that? And the Buddha responds, hey, Ananda, did somebody tell you to say this to me? Were you instructed by a deva? Did a higher being come and sort of prompt you to say that? And Ananda kind of shook his head and said, no, I just really noticed that there was something different about you, and I wanted to see what that was all about. And then the Buddha responds with this, the well-spoken Ananda, right, in that whole segment, right? Well-spoken Ananda. And then he was very proud of his disciple that day, like, wow, you really got it. You saw something there, right? And this question you now ask at the very end of this statement, right? This question you now ask will bring immense benefit. It will enlighten the minds of all devas and human beings, right? Why is this? Because it prompts Shakyamuni Buddha to start talking about the Larger Sutra, right? So that's what we are doing when we celebrate this, right? We celebrate Shakyamuni Buddha teaching us, especially for Shinran Shonin's sake, or for Shinran Shonin's point of view and his teachings to us, right? The Larger Sutra is the key sutra. And remember, and you just saw what I chanted this morning, right? Sambutsuge. Right? Remember, Sambutsuge comes from the Larger Sutra. So all of these elements of our services, of my Dharma talks, of the rituals that we do, are all connected. Okay? They're all connected together to come back, to circle around to the ultimate teaching of Amida Buddha. Right? So again, why are we so grateful for this teaching from Shakyamuni Buddha? And let's not forget, Shakyamuni Buddha lived over 2,000, probably now over 2,500 years ago. And in that time, he taught us the Larger Sutra, which also in my personal opinion is a timeless sutra. It talks about what happens when we don't have the Buddha anymore, right? We don't have the historical Gautama Buddha or Shakyamuni Buddha, right? We don't have this Buddha anymore to teach us, to guide us, to show us the way, right? He is not in front of me physically, right? And I know that there are certain aspects of other Buddhisms that will teach us about, well, Buddha is everywhere, and Buddha is, yes, that's very true, right? Okay, that's a certain truth. But in our school, we are just Bombu beings. We are just ordinary beings, right? We are beings filled with doubt, filled with calculation, filled with a lot of self-power, kleshas that are just clawing at us every single day, right? Which is why we need Amida Buddha to rely upon, right? We need the other power of Amida Buddha to rely upon in these times where we have no guidance, no great Buddha to teach us the way, okay? And so this is why this particular sutra is timeless, right? We are so grateful that Shakyamuni Buddha expounded this sutra. This sutra explains to us that even though the Buddha is not here anymore, the Shakyamuni Buddha, the historical Buddha, is not physically with us anymore, there is still Amida Buddha that we can totally rely on, that we solely rely on, right? Amida Buddha comes, dwells in the realm of the Dharma. That is what the Pure Land is, right? And all of those benefits can still affect us very much. They are still affecting us very much today. So this is what our teachings tell us, that Shakyamuni Buddha came to this world to expound the teachings. The Buddha said many things. The Buddha expounded many teachings. One of the other, for other schools, the highest teaching for them is the Lotus Sutra. But for us, it is they are the three Pure Land Sutras. That's where the ultimate teachings are in, especially the Larger Sutra, because the Buddha talks about Amida Buddhas or Bodhisattva Dharmakara's 48 vows, right? To save all sentient beings from this world of suffering and calculation and hurt, okay? That is what we celebrate. That is who we revere. So once again, I'd like to thank you all for joining me today. And this, once again, please just remember that while we are really enjoying some of these beautiful flowers that we see here in the month of April, right? We're in this wonderful, beautiful springtime, and all these flowers are around us, okay? But while we are celebrating that, let us also turn our thoughts towards why Shakyamuni Buddha came to this world in the first place. What was it that Shakyamuni Buddha had to teach us? Shakyamuni Buddha taught us the three Pure Land Sutras, especially the Larger Sutra. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for joining me today. And please continue to wear masks, social distance, wash your hands frequently. And if you are able and eligible to get the vaccine in any way you possibly can, please schedule an appointment to go get one, okay? This is part of, in a sense, our duty as people of the world, and in a sense, part of our teachings, to actually do all that we can to ensure that we ourselves, myself, right, that I don't get somebody else sick, right? So we sometimes have this, sorry, I know I said I was finishing, but I just want to add this last bit of, Buddhist sort of this Buddhist, twist to getting the vaccine or getting vaccinated, right? We have sort of this me first attitude, right, of vaccine, because we all think to ourselves, oh, if I get the vaccine, that means I can do whatever I want, right? So again, this comes back to me. This comes back to like me, myself, and I, right? This teaching of, oh, I should get the vaccine because then I'm not going to get sick, right? But in reality, and in a Buddhist sense, you should get the vaccine, or I should get the vaccine so I won't get you sick, right? We should all get the vaccine so we don't get each other sick. Okay, that is the bigger message. That is the bigger picture, right? Yes, it's true. If you get the vaccine or both doses and you've waited a certain amount of time, you are less likely to get sick, right? When I get those, I am less likely to get sick. But the most important thing is when we all get vaccinated, then all of us are less likely to get sick, right? So it's not just about me. It's not just about you. It's about all of us, okay? It's about all of us. So I apologize. I know I kind of lied when I said I was going to end there. But I want to just, again, emphasize that this is a time where we all have to think about all of us, right? Not just about me, right? Not just about me. It's all about all of us, okay? So thank you very much, and please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Nam Mandats. Nam Mandats. Nam Mandats. To conclude the service, I would like to read Renyo Shonin's Matsurai Muchisho. Mandai muchi no zaike shiju no nanyo taran tomogara wa kokoro hitotsu ni shite Amida Butto fukaku tanomimairaseteさらに世の方へ心を振らず、一心一向にぶ助けたまえと申さん。主上は、たとえ在後は人順なりとも、必ず皆如来は救いましますべし。これすなわち第18の念仏往生の誓願の心なり。核のごとく献上しての上には、寝ても覚めても命のあらん限りは、称名念仏すべきものなり。あなかしこ、あなかしこ。